Okay, here we are live. Welcome everyone to our Unlimited Network Mastermind. Today is Saturday, August 13, middle of the summer, so almost ending summer for America, for United States, but I know in Spain we are right on. Like middle summer, this next week is a lot of holidays, the celebration of the Virgin Mary, and all the villages are in parties, and big, huge movement right now. So let's celebrate that. But also this time is dedicated for all of us here, to the ones that we sense inside our hearts, that we have that kind of spirit that I call conscious entrepreneurs, in the sense that we are willing to go beyond comfort zone. We are willing to expand our own, consciousness here. And for sure, the ones that we meet here, we are committed to transcend what we call scarcity consciousness, separation, struggle, fear, limitations, and transcend it towards the prosperity consciousness that is our true nature, really, but that requires, and this is interesting to me, the more we can embody, or how we can embody our true nature, or how we can wake up to our true nature, but it's very simple. With this technique, the abundance book, the release technique, is very simple, because our only job is to release, to let go, and let go of everything. So what happens when you let go of everything that you can let go? You will find yourself in beingness, and that beingness for sure is much more in alignment with, prosperity, abundance of everything, from financial abundance that many of us we are looking for, or for abundance of beauty and love and friendship and depth and presence, and a beautiful world that we can all create one by one. Okay, it begins from inside out. So let's revise a little bit, because the chapter of today is very powerful. We are going to begin in page 113, but it's really about letting go, our attachment and identification with mind. So for me, this chapter is one of the most powerful, of the entire book, because really, asking yourself, who am I, without thinking. If I don't follow my thoughts, if I really stop all that mental movement, who am I really? And at that moment is when we discover this pure silence, or presence, or beingness, capital letters. We can use any word to point to it, but I know you can feel it. So the way that we release, for you, if you follow us here doing the exercises, we learn through this book. And by the way, if you don't have it, buy it, because it's incredibly good, and it's something that you can do again and again and again. And after, I think you will pass the entire, every time that you have an opportunity that you sense, because you become very sensitive working here, or committed to wake up spiritually. But when you start to sense any kind of discomfort, contraction, or whatever, you have the opportunity to release. And this is what we do. What we do is to sense, to be very aware of what is going on in us. And as soon as you sense any kind of contraction or discomfort, or like more density, you can call it the way you want here, then you stop and you take the time to do what I call to open the window. Okay, Lawrence Crane explained in the first chapters about imagining all these old energies, this old consciousness, like the oil in the ground of Mother Earth. That when you hit that space of oil, the oil comes out with such a pressure, because it was contained right there, and symbolizes the same kind of effect with our emotions and our our situations, our energies, our conditioning. It's like that energies, they want to go back home, capital letters, to the to the original substance, to the reality, capital letters, of peace and joy and harmony. So I like more the symbolism of opening the window, but the understanding of the oil coming out, I love that image, So all these energies, when you feel discomfort, if you stop for a second, maybe you close your eyes, that's something I do. Maybe you don't need to, but I do. I close my eyes and I really allow this moment to be. And I imagine a big window in the front of my body, okay? that I choose to open because I'm feeling this discomfort, okay, and I allow all these energies to go back to the sky, to source, to the light, to thank you so much for, for sharing. And I already experienced you enough times, all right, and now I'm ready to let you go. That is our growth, okay? It's to free ourselves from any or every conditioning, limitation, or illusion, really. And so said that, there is an easy thing also to detect what it is that you are releasing. So every time that you feel some discomfort, what Lawrence Crane is guiding us to do is to detect if there is three sources from his perspective, that really trap us ego-wise, human separated beings, and is the need or the wanting approval. Like all of us from this separated being, we are looking for, see me, oh my gosh, understand me, approve me, love me, all these kind of things. Another is wanting control, that, we can be so terrified, that I need to control everything, so then I can, get a sense of someone or something here, doing something important, let's say, that I have control on this, And another wanting is wanting security. That, many of us, when we are, the more unconscious we are, the more fearful we are, and it's not something to be ashamed of, it's something to recognize the path of awakening or enlightenment, is to face that dragons, really. And we are doing it. So I want to acknowledge all of us for this commitment, okay? And that's a wanting security, okay, that is very natural, human. What I'm saying is, like, it's not about judging that or anything like that. It's about, again, opening the window and be willing to let that go. The wanting, the need of security. When you feel insecure, are you willing to open the window and to let that go? Or you want to manipulate everything so you don't feel what you feel, and you keep running the show of illusion and exhaustion, and ending up tired instead of ending up, like radiating your aliveness, the life force. I love the way that Arne was teaching in our Unlimited Breath Intensive. He called it that life force, the fountain of life. And I love it, because it feels to me like unlimited source, of aliveness and well-being, So we are made of that. And to me, I'm in love to that, and maybe that's why I'm so passionate about letting go who I am not. And I love to have the support in that direction, okay? So one of the things that, begins the show of illusion is our mind, And last Saturday, we were working a lot about releasing the attachment and identification that we had with mind. And we work with the advantage of thinking, and we face, at one point, imagine, I just highlight this, imagine never, never, ever being able to think again. Do you have something to release there that feels comfortable to you? It's like, yeah, sure, no problem, or oops, hold a second. So that's what we were working last Saturday, and detect, like imagine never, ever, ever think again. Whew. So to me, it's like I could say that the wanting security shows up, it's like, oh my gosh. And it's funny because behind that sensation that I'm sensing right now, okay, there is a huge only option that is called trust. That's what I discovered behind that, letting go of the you or the fear that shows up, if I don't think ever, ever again. So the support from Lawrence is to keep asking and asking and asking until you have zero resistance to these extremes of thinking all the time and non-stopping or never thinking again. And when we are comfortable with these two polarities, these two, black and white, let's say extremes, then we can play the entire realm without identification. Okay, so let's go now. Go to page 113. And we are going to work today. Last week was the advantage of thinking, what we were exploring. Now we are going, it's pretty much to do the same thing, okay? But we use these excuses to keep, purging out and to give us the opportunity to release more and more, okay? But now we are going to focus on aversion to thinking. So place yourself in this position right now to explore this. And we go and says, a stream of consciousness. Remember, right now we are like pulling the pot here, okay? Moving the, steering the pot, no? How you say that, Arne? Steering the pot. Stirring the pot, okay, we turn here. But stream of consciousness. Just let your mind think of things about the aversion of thinking. Write it down and see what you wrote or thought as wanting approval, wanting control, or wanting to be safe or secure, and then release the want. This is the simple technique, okay? Resume here in 2 sentences, but that's what we are going to do. So think about, take a minute right now, and think about, what do I like about thinking? What do you like about thinking? Let's do the exercise here, and to really close your eyes and ask your inside, your truth inside, you know, what do I like about thinking? What do I like about thinking? What do you like about thinking? And unleash whatever, and then detect, go deeper, you know, saying this is coming from wanting approval, wanting control, or wanting security. And then we are going to take a minute to share, and we are going to release that. Okay. So let's open our sharing here with the first sentence that says, what do I like about thinking? And see how much we can detect if he's wanting approval, wanting control, or wanting security. Who is ready?
I am.
Yes, go. 1 second.
This is really weird for me because, so what do I like about thinking? So the first thing that came up was I can choose I can choose what I dwell on. I can choose to dwell on something specifically. But then I realized that's not thinking. That's the will. So even though that I had the idea that that is my thinking, that's actually not my thinking. The next thing, what I like about thinking is I can imagine things, but again, that is actually not thinking. That's something else. That's the source. That is like the will I have to dwell on something. So that is not the thinking process. So I was amazed that there is a lot of uh, other qualities connecting with the source that I wasn't even aware of. I know connecting with the source is very peaceful, it's very nice and all that, but it actually also includes the power or the will to go somewhere. So and then I got down to, so what do I like about thinking? Well, I can calculate things. 2 plus 2, and we're gonna drive here, so I'm gonna go the map over here, and I'm gonna turn over here, so I can calculate my life or calculate building my house. First we're gonna have these people coming and doing this, and blah blah blah. So that gives me a sense of control. So I like about thinking that I can control the sequence of how things are going. Another reason I like thinking is that it's tool for me to engage and communicate with people, so we can have a discussion. Blah blah blah. No, what about this? Nice, nice opinions. I think opinions are a form of thinking. Oh, very nice dress. You're looking great. Have you heard? What's the weather like? Those are all thinking. So it's a form. Without that, it would be a little difficult to communicate. I would feel lonely, so I feel insecure if I didn't have that. So my need of feeling secure and control came there.
Thank you, thank you. Let's hear Candace if you are open to share, and then me, and then we're going to take 1 minute to let go of all this.
I am. What I like about thinking is that it actually gives me a sense of control in that I could spend time thinking about something, considering it, exploring it, and just understanding it better. That gives me a sense of control. I can see how something works. It also prepares me for, as Arnie said, communicating with others, or prepares me to take other actions that I need to take to make something happen. But that comes back to, all those things come back to control and somewhat approval. When I'm prepared for something, I approve of myself because I'm ready to go. I know what I'm going to say, or I know what the sequence of actions are because I've thought them out. So that's approval from me, and probably more approval from somebody else than if I went in there not knowing anything or saying, oh, I'll figure it out as I go along. Well, that's okay. So in a sense, it also protects me, so safety and security is involved. It protects me to be prepared, to have thought about something, to just feel more confident. So everything's involved. All aspects are involved, and I'm ready to release any aversion I have to thinking.
That's the question. That is the intention here, to see how willing we are, Let me share mine, and we take 1 minute, and I guide you to open the window and to let go of that. But to me, pretty much the same. I mean, what do I like about thinking is I like to connect and communicate with people in a physical way, in an intelligent, communicative way. And I went down, and I was thinking, like really wanting approval, in the sense of being seen, and loved, and all these 9 yards. Then what do I like about thinking? I like, for example, one thing that I like is this mastermind, that is talking and thinking and reading. And so I like, I like the creativity of it, the support, and how we can, master this powerful mind that we have. And I ended up realizing that is wanting control, like really at the end, the sense that I got is I get some control on something, And then another thing that I like about things is I enjoy intelligence, I enjoy clarity, and I love it. I just enjoy it. So, and again, I went down in, okay, where is this coming from? And deeper, wanting control again. So let's close our eyes 1 second here, the three of us, and anyone that is in the other side listening to this recording or something like that, to get the opportunity to apply it, okay? So touch your own wanting control, wanting approval, or wanting security. We are really, like moving these energies right now. So, and imagine a beautiful window, if that, is some image that you like, in the front of your, let's say, solar plexus area or chest, whatever it is that, like, and just open the window and imagine, just allow this energy to go out the window, the wanting control, the wanting security, and in my case, that I touch a lot to wanting approval. Wanted approval. It's so like, oh my gosh, can you please approve me? So let all that go. And it's important to notice, that your willingness is enough. Your willingness, you don't have to push these energies away, the opposite. That will be judging them. But your willingness to free, to offer the space for these energies to go back home. That is the key here. It's not you manipulating this and changing this because you think, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's the willingness to just be who you truly are. That is this absolute loving presence, space, and that will do the job. The more we identify with our true nature, the more that is doing the work. We don't have to do it here separated, okay? So beautiful. Acknowledge yourself for that. And let's focus right now in the next section of this. And this is how simple and easy it is to release, okay? But let's purge more energies here to see if something is ready to go home, capital letters, and think a little bit about what don't I like about thinking. What don't I like about thinking? Whew, I'm sweating. What don't I like about thinking? It's interesting to think, you know, like, oh, let's see, you know, it's like, wow. Okay, when you are ready, you can open your microphone. And this is the practice, really, okay? So let's see, who is ready to share something here?
I'm ready. You know, thinking
Go for it.
Thinking only goes as far as my information, the amount of information I have on that subject goes. I only read 5 books about it, so I only have that. It may be a lot, or it may be just a little that I keep rolling around in my head. It's like a closed loop. And also, as far as my personal intelligence would carry me, or any one of our personal intelligence would carry me, it only goes as far to the capacity of my brain. Therefore, it is limited, because there is always more. There's always more than that going on. And I'm sort of about making a choice. Do I want to have all of that available to me, or do I want to live in this limited thinking thing? So any thinking I do is by nature, by its own very nature, is limited. So I'm ready to let go of that. Being stuck in that, it still may be used occasionally as a tool or not. I don't know. We'll see. I'm letting go of it.
Thank you, Kanda. Just detect, go inside and see. You know, is that wanting control, wanting approval, or wanting security? And is it for each of us, you know, unique? So
it kind of fits all of them. Again, if I explore it for a moment, I can see that certainly my safety and security is involved in thinking. Exactly. And often it's about controlling the situation or manipulating it to my advantage or so on. And I'm not a big manipulator, but it's still part of what thinking does. Well, how can I make that sentence sound better or more, whatever? Mm-hmm. And approval, again, it's my own and others' approval. So sometimes I care about others, sometimes I don't. Mostly it's my own approval I care about. But that's a pretty high standard, you know. I hold myself to a fairly high standard.
Thank you, Candace. Beautiful. Arne, do you have something to say, or?
Yeah. Well, sometimes my mind is very boring because it keeps just keeps going. Can we just be quiet for a moment? No. And that. Okay, I just need a break. Okay, can we just shut up and be quiet? I like to quiet sometimes. No, it just keeps going. So it's and also it's boring because many of the thinking things are repetitive. Yeah, I know that, and then I think it again. I already know that. I don't need to be thinking that. I got it. No, it keeps going again and again like a broken record. So it's kind of boring from that point of view. The other reason I don't like what I don't like about thinking is the cause of wars, arguments, disagreement, judgments, guilt, all the conflict that exists comes from thinking. And then I get a thinking, and then I think my thinking is right, and your thinking is not right, all done in the thinking, and now I'm going to fight for it, and becomes disagreements and war and killing and religious killing even. It's just another thinking. No, my saint, my Jesus, my God is better than your God. Well, it's only thinking that says that. And so it's from that point of view, thinking is not a good thing.
And just detect it that is wanting control, wanting approval, or wanting security, because we are
safety and control is for me.
Beautiful, because we are going to take 2 minutes again to open the window and to really release this. So stay in touch with the wanting control, and for me, it's pretty much the same thing, and we have the opportunity here to release a lot of wanting control. But one of the things that I don't like about thinking is that I get trapped on it, and I get lost. It's like suddenly on and on mentally here and whatever, disconnected to my true nature for sure. And I went inside, and this is kind of from insecurity, like wanting some control. Mental power struggle, like you were saying, Arne, arguments and rightness, they need to be right, that we already let go a lot. I don't know, you remember in chapters before, earlier chapters, we dedicate, one day to that, and it's amazing, how powerful that can be, that need, and that wanting control. So for me, again, wanting control, that way. And then not being understood, or, differences. Sometimes I say to Arne, gosh, looks like we have different frequencies, or like we don't synchronize mentally, So to me, I want to say one thing, and then you say another thing, and it's like chaos. And again, it's wanting approval and control. So let's take a minute, close your eyes right here, and just acknowledge yourself for doing this work of releasing, of letting go who you are not, that we are detecting that more and more easily. And just open the window to this letting go, the willingness to let go, wanting control, this need that we have to control, or wanting security, like this, my gosh, the the fear that we can have unconsciously running the show here, or the wanting approval. Just take a moment, take a loving breath here, and just with this window fully open, allow these energies to come out, just because you personally at this moment are willing to let that go. Simple, very simple. We are going to become transparent. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to keep reading here, and this is going to the squeezy lemon question. So use the opportunity. I'm trying to read slowly, but for you to do it in the moment, okay? And it says, imagine always thinking you can't stop. So just go in your imagination and, my gosh, blah, 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 blah. Always thinking you cannot stop it, okay? Let go of the clenching or resistance, the feeling it brings up in your stomach or chest. Keep releasing until there are no more feelings in your stomach or chest. So imagine for a second that you cannot stop thinking and relax into that. Just allow whatever sensation comes into your body. Open the window that's already open. Just allow that to come out, back to source. Until you are comfortable with this non-stop, constant thinking. Whew. And what I sense right here, and maybe this is inspirational for you too, but what I'm sensing is like, yeah, I can allow this mental noise because suddenly I'm bigger than that. I don't know if you notice something like that, but it's, I detach, I feel a little more space, a lot more space between, being identified with the blah, 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 to be the awareness that notice that blah, 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 and it's very okay. So imagine, I mean, this is like, yeah, feels, kind of peaceful and free at this very moment, so beautiful. Could I let go of my entire aversion to thinking? Keep letting go until you can say yes 100% with no clutching or resistance. Beautiful. So now let's continue on with our aversion to thinking. Remember, that's the topic today. So what do you like about thinking? Does that bring up a wanting of approval, a wanting of control, or a wanting to be safe? Could you let go of either wanting approval, wanting control, or wanting to be safe and just let it go? I can. I think we all can here. That's beautiful. And what don't you like about thinking? Does that bring up an unwanted energy or a want of approval, control, or safety? And whichever it is, could you just let it go? And what else do you like about thinking? Does that bring up a wanting approval, wanting control, or wanting to be safe? And again, open the window. Does that bring up, let's see, does that bring da-da-da? And whichever it is, could you just let it go? And what don't you like about thinking? Does that bring up a want of approval, control, of safety? And whichever want it is, could you just let it go? Keep going back and forth until you have no more likes or dislikes, and then move on. Whew. Now, let's ask the squeezing the lemon question about thinking. Imagine always thinking. You can't stop. You are going crazy with it. Put your head down and see if it brings up a resistance or clutching and an unwanted energy. Like you cannot stop thinking, period. Put your head down and notice, if this activity, reflects like, oh my gosh, wanting approval, wanting control, or wanting safety. What is the biggest hook right there? And if he's wanting control, like is in my case, just, are you willing to let that go? Can I let that go? Could I let that go? Can I let that go fully and completely? The wanting security, can I let that go? Right here and now, can I let that go, that wanting security? Beautiful. Remember, the energy wants to leave. Just allow it to come up and allow it to pass through. Imagine always thinking you can't stop is driving you absolutely nuts. Put your hand down and see if it brings up an unwanted energy, a clenching or resistance. Could you just allow it to come up and allow it to pass through? And more, and more, and even more. Imagine always thinking. You can't stop. Whew. See if it brings up resistance and unwanted energy, and check if you could just allow it to come up and allow it to pass through. And more, and more, and even more. Imagine always thinking. You can't stop. And you are going to have to listen to this thing forever. Put your head down. See if it brings up a clenching and unwanted energy, and just allow it to come up and allow it to pass through. And more, and more, and even more. Imagine always having to think. You can't stop. It's going to drive you nuts forever. Put your head down. Allow it to come up and allow it to pass through. The energy. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just phenomenon passing through. Notice that you are getting clearer and lighter. Is that true? Notice in your body. To really letting go all this craziness, you know, this, oh my gosh, you know, like constant. Okay. Let go this wanting control, this wanting security, this wanting approval. What do you notice when you do that? Check and see if you feel smarter or stupider. Okay. Chances are you are feeling more and more positive, clearer and smarter. Even though your mind might have said to you, this is crazy. You keep asking the squeezing the lemon question until there is no resistance in your stomach or chest area, and then move on. Could you let go of your entire aversion to thinking? Any resistance to saying yes? Put your head down and notice that there is an unwanted energy, a resistance or clenching, and allow the energy to come up and just allow it to pass through. And more, and more, and even more. Could you let go of your entire aversion to thinking? Are you comfortable with thinking all the time, period? Are you okay with not, having to think about thinking or not thinking? Any resistance to saying yes? Clenching? Just allow the energy to come up. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just phenomena passing through. So just allow that energy to be released. And more, and more, and even more. And could you let go of your entire aversion to thinking? Just allow it to come up and allow it to pass through. Keep releasing on the question until you can say yes 100% with no doubts or hesitation. Beautiful. So if you see that there is a, like, gosh, there is more here, I want to do this again, read this page again and just ask yourself, and you stop here and there, because what we are doing here is to steering up, these unconscious limitations and energies that we have that really stop us from being our full potential here, our true nature, So beautiful. So the next paragraph begins with getting clearer and clearer, more and more clear. Now, let's do a little cleanup, and then we will continue to get closer and closer and closer to abundance. Remember, that is our intention here, okay? And closer to a quiet mind, if you have noticed. Now, let's continue this work. So check if you have noticed that all this release that we have done here with, aversion to thinking really allows you to have a quiet mind. Did you notice that every time that you put your hand down, you allow all the turmoil, all this energy, but there is something quiet here, right? Notice that. Okay, so follow these directions here. Like close your eyes and see if there is an unwanted energy steamed up in your stomach or your chest area. Put your head down and put your hand on your stomach or chest area whenever your feeling center is. And just allow that energy to come up and allow it to pass through, and more and even more. And see if there is any more clenching or resisting in your stomach or chest area. Can you allow that energy to come up and pass through, and more and even more and even more? Could you let go of wanting to figure anything out? And more and more and even more. And could you let go of wanting to know what the answers are? And more and even more. Now see if you can bring up some of the wanting of control. The lie that you lack control. But that wanting of control, that lacking feeling, put your head down. Notice that you have an unwanted energy. Could you just allow that energy to leave? And more and even more. And could you let go of wanting control? That lacking control feeling, can you let that go? And more and even more. And could you bring up some more of the wanting control? Just allow it to come up and allow it to pass through. And more and even more. See if you could bring up some of the wanting approval, the lie that it lies outside yourself. That wanting, lacking feeling, could you allow it to come up? That wanting approval, that's so easy to me right now. I'm very familiar with this. And can I let that go? Could you let that go? Could you allow it to pass through? And more and more and even more. And see if you could bring up some of the wanting to be safe, wanting to be secure. That lacking feeling. Could you allow it to come up and could you allow it to pass through? And more and even more. Notice that it gets easier. The more you practice releasing, the more you keep the releasing muscle open. Releasing becomes easier and easier. Have you noticed that? Beautiful. Beautiful. Great. So let's see. Oh, we have time here. So, big release today. I feel like so happy and lighter right now. But we have, yes, Arne, go.
I had an interesting thing here on control. You know, we're building or working on remodeling our new house here. So I'm in Costa Rica, and Costa Rica is pura vida. You know, they. So what are you doing? Well, we're going and look, and then we'll see what we do. And I have 7 pages here of planning, step by step. You know, first gonna do that, and then we have to do that, and then this way we go. So I have 7 pages of control. And so I guess I have a lot to release on control.
I just love it. I love it, and what I love is that we can smile or even laugh about our own selves. You know, it's like that's the way that we really manage this life when we are these magnificent beings. You know, that absolute, I don't know, like I don't know, like we create universes. You know, we create everything that surrounds us here. You know, we play so small and so afraid and so controlling and so judgmental, and I'm like, oh my gosh, so happy to see it. You know, with space, you know, detached from these identities, you know, beautiful. Yes, Candace.
I love how the universe, when we show our sincerity to make a difference for ourselves and letting go of thinking and letting go of all the things, the beautiful things that we've looked at here so far in the book, and we're just a little past halfway, so we've got more to go, but I was just thinking how exquisite the universe provides us opportunities to see how much we've actually done. It gives us, you know, it is our mirror in so many ways of our thinking, of our holding on, or whatever it is. We just get a chance to say, well, did you really get that work done? Well, sure, yes or no, you know, or, oh, well, there's a little more, and that's okay, because I've got the tools. It's good. I love it.
Exactly. Thank you, Con. That's so beautiful. And to me, I'm laughing, you know, with you, Arne, here, because we know each other now for 21 years, you know, that we are together, and it's so beautiful. And how humble at the same time to see where I will be in 20 years from now, you know, because I look back, it's like, oh my gosh, we were under this controlling, you know, safety, approval, unconscious needs, you know, that right now finally we can release, become aware of it, you know, and let it go fully. So I'm so happy and grateful for that. Beautiful. So there is another big topic here. Maybe we don't have the time to do it fully today, but I want to open the door. And it's about the attachment to doing something. You know, how many of us, we are comfortable into the beingness and to don't do, you know, like don't do it. Don't be addicted to the doing. To me, I love the action, you know, but let's see how much attachment I have to that and how much that can constrict me instead of expand me, you know, and be in the moment where the doing is inspirational. So that, I think, is a distinction here. So let's explore a little bit this aspect of attachment to doing something. Now, let's look at our attachment to doing something. Now, I'm not talking about not having the ability to do something. I'm talking about being run automatically. In quotes, I got to do this. I have to do this. I should do this. I must do this. Whew. You need to be in control rather than having to listen to this thing telling you what to do all the time. So let's explore now and steer up and open the window and let go, okay? Attachment to doing something. Stream of consciousness. Just let your mind think of things about the attachment of doing something. Write it down and see what you wrote or thought as wanting approval, wanting control, or wanting to be safe or secure, and then release the want. Pretty much the same process here. So what advantage is it to me to do something? What advantage is it to you to do something? And I'm asking that question in my heart here. What advantage is it to me to do something? What advantage is it to me to do something? And then detect right on the right side, is this wanting control, wanting approval, or wanting security? Just this energy is telling you what it is. So beautiful. So anybody would like to inspire each other here to your own discoveries? What advantage it is to me, to you, to do something? So I can go, yes, go for it.
The advantage of doing something is I have an idea in my head, or I have a thought, and that thought, if I go into action and do something about it, then I feel like I can cross it off my list. You know, the plants need watering. Well, that thought is going to go on forever in my head until I go out and water the plants, and now I can cross it off my list. So the advantage is the doing makes me that I can cross that, I can take out that thought from my mind. So that is wanting to control. And then the other thing is, well, wanting approval. You know, look what I'm doing. I'm doing this thing here, so I'm getting approval, need of approval. And also, when I do something, I feel that I'm busy. So that's and I'm busy. Look, I'm earning my right to be. I'm earning my right to be. And look, I got projects, I got things. I'm active. I'm doing something. So that's safety. Need of safety.
Beautiful. Wow. Thank you so much. I just feel very inspired by what you share right now, you know, and to discover the simplicity of wanting approval, control, and I totally resonate with what you say, so I'm ready to release that too. Candace, do you want to share, or we go directly to the release here?
Oh, I definitely want to share. My attachment to doing something has a number of advantages. I can use it to create a change. I can use it to it's me being trusting and expressing myself and following my flow. It's saying yes to God. It's saying yes to the universe. It's living my life. And I love the action that I do from that inspired place. But I think that is not what dear Lawrence is talking about here. He's talking about being run automatically. And what is the advantage to me in that? Well, that is how I get some things done. It's how I get the dishes done. You know, you have your meal and you clean up the kitchen. You know, or you know, those are automatic actions. And you take out the trash and you do, like we're doing here, taking out the trash. Anyway, so some of those actions really are automatic. And the advantage to me is that I live in a cleaner house, that my garden gets watered, Arnie. You know, all these things that happen on automatic that I can, that I will probably continue doing even after I release all the parts of it that need releasing.
Just detect a little bit, Candace, if that is in, you know, if he's wanting control, that it looks to me that could be, you know, without any kind of judgment here, but something that it was impressive to me, and I'm really, you know, surrendering and humbling by it, is that, you know, there is so many feelings. Remember the chart of feelings that we have, that, by the way,
yes, of course.
you can find it on the unlimitednetwork.com. But you know, the feelings of courageousness, acceptance, and peace, and then you can go, you know, like calmness, center, eternal, eternity, free, fulfillment, glowing, light, empathy, richness, everything is okay, all is well, tranquility, all of that I love. I mean, I love to connect with that. At the end, ended up on the category of wanting control. It's amazing. So to me, it's like, and then that wanting control and wanting approval, remember in the chart, okay, end up, okay, in our wanting to be safe, secure, and survive as a separated entity. So it's like, I feel like I grasp, if you want, you know, this whatever, flowing and peaceful, whatever, that's, you know, that's me. And again, I individualize it in an entity, you know, in something like could be separated from source. So I'm very, you know, kind of inquiring, you know, and checking, oh my gosh, I'm attached to these things or not. So also the, you know, from the apathy and grief, you know, to the peace, capital letters. And let's release all. So then what? It's like, oh my gosh, you know. So that wanting security for me is the one, you know, that we can touch more and more easily. So thank you for that inspiration, because I love to go deeper, you know, in our own, you know, flow and awakening here. So beautiful.
I also had a thought about those little automatic activities like cleaning up the kitchen and so on. What thoughts am I thinking? Am I thinking a little resentment because somebody else could have done that part of it, or, you know, well, that was their job, not mine? Or was I thinking what you were just saying, all the excellence, oh, what a beautiful day, I can hardly, you know, 5 more minutes and I'm finished and I'll be out in the sunshine again, and whatever. It has so much to do with what we're thinking while we're doing that activity.
Exactly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, in my case, I found that what advantage it is for me to do something is like give me a sense of purpose, you know, like I'm engaging with something that is meaningful. I ended up discovering the wanting control, you know, and approval. I see very mixing lately all these things. And another big thing about what do I like to do things is because I get approval, you know, especially from my mother, I have to say. But I mean, if I do the things that she likes, of course, me to do. But I mean, I think it's one big sense of, you know, the more you do, the better you are, or something like that, you know, from the all consciousness. And then one thing that I see here, advantage that I discover is like, you know, the more I do, the less I feel. So could be, you know, give me a sense of security. So I went to wanting security and control. It's kind of mixed. So let's close our eyes for 1 second, and we're going to complete our session here today. And just open the window. Notice your front, the front of your body, the places where we normally clench, you know, like contract or feel the contraction here, the, you know, a little bit of closeness. And just imagine that beautiful window, you know, that you open here, and just allow yourself to pick whatever is more resonant right now about, you know, the doing thing, and if it's wanting control or wanting approval or wanting security, just feel that energy of wanting control with total permission, or wanting security with total permission, or wanting approval with permission, and let that go through the window. It's like, don't judge it, don't push it away, don't get rid of anything. Just allow the beauty of your space, of this window, to do the work. And these energies are looking to go back home, capital letters. So, wanting control, wanting security, wanting approval, good or bad, it's just phenomenon passing through. Bye-bye. Beautiful. And notice how quiet we get just naturally here. Beautiful. Beautiful. So with this, we are going to complete our section today of Saturday, August 13. Thank you so much for being here, Candace, Arne, being here alive, you know, and engaging and, you know, nurturing this kind of awakening that for whatever reason, look, you know, so funny as conscious entrepreneurs that we end up, you know, with a book that reflects so much how spiritual oriented we are, you know. It's so funny, you know, because there is so many other books, you know, that are more in the strategies of, you know, doing this or that. And here is all about let go who you are not, you know, and just allow your magnificence to show you, you know, who you are, who you truly are, and how that works. So next Saturday, we are going to start on page 116, continue with the disadvantage and, you know, start to bring awareness to this doing something. And I hope we will finish the chapter next week. I think I'm muted right now. Okay, so I wish to all of you a wonderful release week. Remember that this technique is becoming, in my case, is becoming very natural. Every time that I sense something that, oops, okay, I stop. So it's really about awareness. It's another way of, I mean, I love it, you know, the practicality of it. But stop, sense, open the window, let it go, notice what happens, and keep, you know, running your show and your life, experiencing your life. So I love you all. By the way, if you want to be on the panel, I mean, I know it's summer and everybody's busy or whatever, but here we are, the 3 drops here, you know, like coming every Saturday, you know, nurturing our prosperity consciousness. That is a matter of, you know, perseverance, no doubt, okay, and the passion for it, no doubt. And to be together here really nurtures each other in this direction. So thank you so much for being here. And if you want to be on the panel, remember to go to write an email, let's say to Arne, A-R-N-E, @unlimitednetwork.com, and we can play together here. So have a wonderful week, guys, and see you next Saturday. Mwah. Love you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good
Bye,
to see
everybody.
you. Bye-bye.